Have you ever asked for God's guidance and wisdom, but only after everything went sideways? Oh my goodness. You're not alone. I've done this too. I want to tell you about a time that my husband and I, we were going to sell our first home. The city we lived in and I still live in, outside of it, the land is very dear because it's a great agricultural area. So we soon realized that we couldn't afford countryside property. So we started looking at villages that were nearby. We found the house that we thought was perfect for us. It wasn't a perfect house. You could tell by looking at it, but it had potential. It was large, it had lots of space. I wanted to start a stained glass business when I moved there, and it had that potential for a studio in the front of the house. So we made an offer. The price of the house was great too. Everything was enticing. The neighbors seemed lovely. We didn't want to pass up this offer. The problem was, because we were so confident that this was the place for us, we actually made a firm offer, which means there were no conditions. We did have a house to sell yet, yes, but we thought, oh, this will be a piece of cake. It's going to sell quickly, and we've nailed down the house that we want. Well, you know what happens, right? We'd sign the document, we come back home, and then the fear sets in. Oh my goodness, what have we done? We own two houses, and we can't afford two houses. What if it doesn't sell? We had been making plans and asking God's approval, but we realized we needed to get serious in our prayer. And at that moment, we actually knelt beside our sofa in the living room and prayed to God, please, God, bail us out of this one. You know that we don't have the money for two homes. And we do believe that this is what you have for us. So we are trusting you to sell our current home so that we can make this purchase. And you know what? God did answer in wonderful ways. It turned out that this lovely couple really wanted our home. They owned a meat shop at a local market, and they offered us a cash deal to settle, and everything was fine. We met our closing deadline. God really is good, and He is faithful and does want to provide for us, not just our needs, but our desires as well. That season taught us something. God isn't our backup plan. He actually wants us to come to Him first, to seek Him first, and His wisdom and His guidance leads us into the planning stage. Now I try to bring decisions to God in the beginning and not at the end. Can you imagine if you had a significant other and you went out and bought a house without even talking to them about it? Maybe they knew that you wanted a different home and they sympathized with you and you had talked about it, but you just went ahead and found the house and bought it on your own. You may have a relationship where this would work just fine, but most of us haven't had that kind of relationship. Most relationships are a partnership, and you make decisions like that together, big decisions, right? True wisdom comes from seeking God first with our plans, not running to Him after we've exhausted all options. Have you ever done that? You've made a decision hastily and then realized, I left God out of this completely, or I waited way too long to bring this to God. We've all done it many, many times. Maybe you want to share in the comments just a funny scenario or a learning scenario of when you've done this. I'm sure I'm not the only one in this situation. And now maybe you're in a spot where you have a decision to make. You have something you need to act on. Something life changing is happening. Be sure to include God in that decision. Ask Him, what do you want me to do? He gives wisdom to all who seek Him first. If you enjoy honest conversations about faith, purpose, and life after 50. I'd like for you to subscribe so that you can continue this journey along with me. In my early retirement or selective retirement, I've been learning about digital marketing. Building streams of income online allows me to be generous with others, spend time volunteering, having a greater impact on the international students who stay with me, and the opportunity to visit some of them when they return to their own homes. In the next video, I'll talk about what is the worst or best that could happen to you if you started an online business. I want to thank you for your comments and subscribing. I look forward to continuing this journey together with you, and I'll see you in the next video.